Esports as a whole has grown so much in the last 20 years, especially with the younger generation from CSGO, League of Legends, and Valorant. Some people have even made it big time doing esports as a job. This guy, for example, or this guy. I don't even play League of Legends, but I know who Faker is. But what if I tell you, there is another game with an esports scene so grand, so glorious, the games I mentioned before pale in comparison.
Like me? Well, let me see if I can't change your mind.
The game I'm talking about is Epic 7, by the way, and yes, it's a gacha game. I already glorped the hell out of Epic 7, so it's time to take shots on it. For all of you guys who don't know what a gacha game is, it is an often free-to-play game that features a mechanic where players use in-game currency that can be earned through gameplay, or you can just be Rika and do this instead. It's up to you. In a gacha game like Epic 7 for example, you can open packs like in FIFA.
I can't grow. Yes! Huh? Are you serious? Oh, that's it? That's fucking it. That's it. That's all I've got.
These kinds of games are infamous for being paid to win. And to make it worse, it is a game about cute anime girls with over-the-top sexualization. So yeah, I don't think people take Epic 7 seriously from the start, and why they decided it would be a good idea to try and make an esports out of it, God knows why. I always think gacha games should just focus on writing good stories and PvE stuff, but that's not important, that's just my opinion. Anyway, in Epic 7 there's a thing called Real-Time Arena, and it's the main content of the game at this point. It's a competitive PvP mode where players face off against each other in real time, and you know shit's about to get real and competitive when it's real time. But yeah, let me explain how an average real-time arena game goes. There are two phases in RTA. The first phase is called the drafting phase. Each player gets to ban a couple of units, and these banned units can be picked by either players in the match. Normally you use these ban picks to get the disgusting brain-dead strongest units in the game or iconic units of your opponent out of the match. For example, Poopest is famous for playing fast and aggressive, so people ban units that help his playstyle when facing up against him. After banning, each player takes turn picking units from their roster. The player who gets the first pick can only pick one unit to open the draft. For the rest of the draft, however, each player then takes 2 units each turn until the last pick, where the last player can only take 1 unit. After each player picked 5 units, they then ban 1 unit of their choice from their opponent's team. There has been changes made to the drafting phase since then, but it's not important because these changes weren't there in 2023. And 2023 is the year we're focusing on right now. And then there is the battle phase. Think of the battle phase like PvP Honkai Star Rail, because it's really similar. Each unit takes a turn doing something, with the fastest unit going first. That's why you have speed in Epic 7. Now that I've talked enough about the boring stuff, let's talk about our main character, Marguerite. Marguerite is actually quite well known in the Epic 7 community. He consistently finishes Legend in RTA, which is the highest rank you can get in the game. And when the qualifier for the tournament came around, it was not really a surprise that he managed to be one of the many players who qualified. And he did it in style too, with a 73.5% win rate. To put this into perspective, I barely reached 55% win rate in Emperor, the second highest rank in the arena. So, Marguerite got into the tournament, but it's far from over. In the tournament, there is another qualifier for each server. There are 5 servers in total: Global, Asia, Europe, Korea, and Japan. 2 players each can qualify from Korea, Global, and Asia. Marguerite plays in Japan, and only 1 player can qualify each from Japan and Europe. So he had to work really hard. I mean, really struggle to qualify. Well, to be honest, he did face jobbers in his first 2 matches. Well, that's not important, because he's going to face Phantom. The champion of the 2022 E7WC. And he has 89.1% win rate in the qualifiers, which is godlike number. You have to be 5-head to pull that kind of number. So yeah, as you guys might guess, Marguerite ended up being the underdog, which is crazy for a player who still has 73.5% win rate. In the first match, Phantom started with the first turn trying to land debuff on Conqueror Lilius, and somehow failing in doing so, missing an 85% chance to do so. And to make things worse for Phantom, Poopest, one of Marguerite's units, managed to stun Phantom support with only a 30% chance to do so.
It activates her passive, but stuns her. It's gone now.
He's getting the clutch stun, making Phantom unable to buff his main DPS. And let me tell you, it doesn't end there for Phantom. Let me explain. Phantom's main DPS is called Adin, and her whole gimmick in the game is evasion. She has a 50% chance to evade, and people normally use her with an artifact that gives 20% more evasion, so 70% in total. And guess what happens?
I see every attack. Yeah, every attack. Oh!
Our boy has made it. He has beaten every single opponent, stayed in the winner's bracket, and reached the finals. He is officially in the top 3 of E7WC. He's just one more win away from reaching the grand final. But there is one man standing on his way. Poopest has been the people's favorite ever since the tournament began, and he was mine too, by the way. And can you blame me? Look at that name. He's just a silly individual who also somehow looks funny. This is it, the match that decides who goes directly to the grand finals. And they also have a 1-1 record. This is 2 titans facing up against each other. But then, the worst for Marguerite happened.
Debuff landing right there.
That's a full house.
And look at that Senya. She's got a 1-turn bomb there. As soon as her turn starts again, she just instantly blows up and gets stunned again. Fully controlled, single-handedly by 1 unit, controlling a whole team.
Yeah, unfortunately, Marguerite, who might just be delaying the inevitable here. Now, T. Crozet, no skills available.
Oh, and Marguerite says GG. Poopest will be going up.
He ended up losing 3-1. Destroyed and absolutely outplayed and outdrafted by Poopest. It was as if Poopest was always one step ahead, drafting counters and counters to Marguerite's units. And it was like he was stunned and didn't know what to do. He even picked Mortalix, the meanest unit in the game. Our boy dropped to the loser's bracket. But it didn't demoralize him. In fact, he destroyed his opponent WInterWish 3-0 without any answer. Absolutely crushed with no mercy. And he finally reached the grand final, facing the man who had previously destroyed the absolute shit out of him, 3-1. This was a really huge mountain for Marguerite to climb. Not to mention, Poopest started with a 1-0 advantage in the final as the player from the winner's bracket. And people were also rooting for Poopest. He was the overwhelming favorite. With his back against the wall, surrounded from all sides, it is now or never for our boy Marguerite. Poopest came in strong in the first match, picking one aggressive unit to the other, and Marguerite was stuck counter-picking and being passive. But there was one unit Poopest underestimated. Senya absolutely destroyed Poopest, taunting every unit, landing debuffs, and doing huge damage.
We hit on
Let's see
Jacko.
what it lands.
Yeah. Dragon Slayer strike.
It's never
We
hit
a
Jacko.
way to get in my way.
Putting a mischance and provoke on the Jacko, making it so that she's not really going to be doing all that much. Counterattack coming out, the endless loop of provokes coming out of both sides.
So many counterattacks.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
both
many.
sides.
Senya putting in work.
I think this Senya's about to 1v4 Poopest almost. Do a little bit more damage. Yola's got a skill 3 here. She doesn't have another
I
chance.
have no use
And
for
does
you.
soul burn. Probably taking Senya out right here.
Will this be enough damage?
100% she is dead.
Oh, she will survive.
I think he's too soon and
I
she
did
gets
think
Senya
way too soon.
showcase.
And with that,
And
it's
Marguerite.
now 1-1.
Missing.
In match 2, Poopest played less aggressive, being more careful this time because of one unit. Lionheart Zermia, my favorite unit in the game.
You's a freaky ass nigga!
Absolutely destroyed Poopest Wrath.
Brandon is surviving.
It is a tankier one though, right? We saw earlier from Marguerite. Not a full damage build.
Oh, just
Takes out
so
the
much
man.
damage to the
Arwell
too.
get 1 health now, pretty much.
And it happened over and over and over again. He has done it. Marguerite has beaten Poopest, who has beaten him 3-1 before, to win E7WC with a score of 4-1.
And we got a sneak peek from your parents. Was there a word of advice from your mother?
你的妈妈走来走去，就是我们画面上都可以看得到嘛。就是你的妈妈跟你怎么说？
The mom buff.
他知道我在打比赛，然后就没打扰我。
일단 그러니까 응원을 해주시는데 그 방해하지 않으시고 계속 옆에서.
So she's
구석구석
cheering for me,
하십니다.
making sure she doesn't
이
disturb
기회를 빌어서
during the
어머님께
matches.
한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
Would you have any shout out?
A news suddenly broke out in April 13th, 2024, that Marguerite has cheated. You guys might have noticed the finals of E7WC were held online, while seeing that Smilegate, the company that owns Epic 7, has prepared a venue for the whole thing. Why is that? It turned out that the finals were supposed to be held offline directly. That's why one of the requirements for competing was to have to be able to fly to Korea. And why they didn't go? There was a clip from Jenazat, the caster in E7WC.
So anyone who was supposed to get into the finals would have to fly to Korea. Well, they didn't fly to Korea. What happened is the 3 people who were supposed to fly there were Marguerite, Poopest, and WInterWish. None of them went. What happened is Marguerite went, well, I don't know if I can get my visa in time, guys. I don't know. Even though in the rules, you had to be able to fly to Korea. Like, you had to. That was part of the rules. Technically, you should just be disqualified immediately.
And little did Smilegate know, Marguerite is devious as fuck.
地西也行，
以前
地西也行。
以前不
地西要拿的话，
你得点个大
那
师
蔬菜有可能。
10个还是点？
我选点什么？
其实我不是那么喜欢
未湾你只能搬我。
这个 BP 的内容是比较没有那么直。
风雨苏宁怎么
Okay.
The clip I just showed you was a clip of Marguerite getting instruction from a coach in the grand final. Marguerite cheated, and suddenly it is clear how he got his ass beat 3-1 by Poopest to ended up being in a 7-match win streak against Poopest and WInterWish combined. Don't forget that the winner of E7WC would get 50,000 US dollars. So this is a huge deal. 50,000 US dollars is a huge amount of money, especially for one person. A whole organization in Valorant Champions that finished 7th got 50,000, and Smilegate wasted that much on a cheater. I really don't like the idea of gacha games holding tournaments like this because it really feels amateurish and stupid, especially when the entire game revolves around RNG. My take is that they should just focus on developing the game more, and can you imagine what they could have done with the 150,000 US dollars to the game? They could have made major important parts of the story voice acted, for example. That would increase engagement to the game, not a half-baked gacha tournament. But that is just me. Let me know what you guys think.